Well, warm greetings to all. I would welcome Dr. Sunita Burra.
Thank you.
Good morning, Dr. Sunita. I'm
Good
Shobha
morning.
Palakirti here. Ma'am, your voice is not audible.
One second.
Hello. You're not audible yet.
Is it okay now?
Yeah.
Is it okay? Can you all hear me?
I can't hear you yet, ma'am.
Any others? Can you please respond? Can you all hear me? No?
Dr. Sunita, I can hear you.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay.
Okay. Welcome, Professor Neela.
Thank you, Shobha.
I would like to introduce Dr. Sunita Burra to you here. She is the head programs, Pratham Education Foundation.
Good morning, Dr.
Good morning.
Sunita. Yeah,
Good
I'm
morning.
Neela. I head the MBA program. I'm the director of the MBA program at Kasturba Gandhi College.
Yeah. Good morning, Mrs. Neela.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And it's so nice to see you. And you've accepted it to be the speaker at a short notice. We are very glad to have you with us today.
Thank you so much.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. I'm sure you know something about Kasturba Gandhi College.
Maybe it's good if you can just, give me a little background of that. I mean, I have heard about it.
Yes. So the college was set up in 1973. We are heading towards our 50th year, the Golden Jubilee celebrations. And this was started by the Exhibition Society and Osmania Graduates Association. They have around 18 educational institutions across Telangana. Exhibition Society, the Numaish, the yearly Numaish that is held, the proceeds of it are brought into, are used for setting up educational institutions across Telangana. And currently we have 18 institutions and some which are purely dedicated only to women's education.
Right.
So they do a lot of, and Osmania Graduates Association is the largest alumni organization in Asia.
Oh,
and these institutions are actually run jointly by Exhibition Society and Osmania Graduates Association. And Kasturba Gandhi College, Vanita Mahavidyalay, Sardar Patel College, Lal Bahadur Shastri College. These are Kamala Nehru Polytechnic, which is the first women's polytechnic in Asia, was set up in 1967. So we have quite a legacy behind and a very good lineage, and all people are involved in spreading education. And they also have a couple of schools in Adilabad district and in Nalgonda, where generally the education hasn't reached through government initiatives. These people have stepped in. And currently we have in our college we have around 2,700 students, out of which 2,200 are from the degree stream and another 500 are from the postgraduate stream. And MBA is the largest contingent in that postgraduate. We have two sections, and MBA has recently completed 25 years.
Oh, that's nice.
So yeah, that's a milestone for us. So we've always been in the forefront of trying to reach out to underserved population. So we have a mix of students who come from the rural areas and who also come from Hyderabad. So we do have this mix of students, and we are proud to say that we have a lot of people who have come out of these organizations who are well settled, and we are trying to do our best as far as education and girls' education, women's education in particular is concerned. That's a brief about our college.
Yeah, very, very glad to know, Mrs. Leela. Actually, that you are giving a lot of importance to this women and girls' education, which is really, really important for our country, as we all know. So that's a great to know from you the kind of service and the kind of education that you are providing for this underprivileged and disadvantaged groups also.
Yes.
And this is really very important.
Yeah, and we just don't focus only on education for the sake of education, and that they have to get some employment. That also we give importance, but then they also have all-round development. We have the NCC, we have the NSS, and then we have some community connect programs which each individual department takes up, and then we have sports. We've also excelled in sports, and we have other kinds of hands-on activities. For instance, for our MBA students, we take them to factory visits so that they have an understanding. It's not part of the curriculum, but then we try to go beyond the curriculum and teach them a few things. So we involve them in certain projects, and we are trying to do our best in trying to give them quality education.
Yeah, that's really important, because as we all know that theory is not going to help in any ways. So I think this hands-on experience is really important.
Yeah.
And I like that kind of a community connect, which
Yes.
actually, it's very important as being, I mean, in the social service sector for the last 25 years, it's really important for these youngsters to, make them understand what is community, what is society, and what is giving back. I think these things are really important. I mean, they have to learn in the university and college days.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
Very glad to know.
Yeah. And this UBSL, the Sunnat Bharat Abhiyan, we've really taken it up seriously. It's not because we just have to meet some criteria which the AICT has stipulated. We've taken it seriously, and we've adopted 5 villages in Mehboob Nagar district, Nagar Karnool district. And Shobha actually heads this UBA cell in our college. And they've actually gone to the villages, did the whole program as stipulated by UBA.
Excuse me, Professor Neela, it's already 10 a.m. So probably you can continue our discussion. I just would want to check with Kiranmai.
Yeah.
Kiranmai?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, have you admitted?
Yeah, good morning, friends. This is Vijay Kumar. I have joined.
Yeah. Oh,
thank you. Good morning,
thank you, sir.
Thank you. And we are waiting for Professor Vivek.
Yes, yes. Professor Vivek is yet to join, I think.
For a couple of minutes.
Yeah. Kiranmai, you need to confirm if Professor Vivek has joined the Zoom session.
Joined, ma'am, I think.
He's joined?
Yes, ma'am. Professor Vivek Kumar, I just now admitted, ma'am.
Okay. Good morning, Professor Vivek.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining our webinar today. With your permission, with all your permission, we will start this session.
Yeah. Good morning, Dr. Neela.
Good morning, Professor Vivek. Thank you so much.
Sir, we have other speakers also. Dr. T. Vijay Kumar from NIRDPR and Dr. Sunita Burra. She's the head programs for Pratham Education Foundation, Hyderabad. So with all your permission, I would like to start today's webinar. Well, I extend my warm greetings to all the eminent speakers and the participants. I am Shobha Palakirti, and along with my colleagues, we would be hosting the webinar for today. I wish to quote Mr. Nelson Mandela here. I quote, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world," unquote. Rightly, I see the new education policy is going to bring about a drastic change in the education system. So before we actually try to create some awareness through this webinar, I would quickly take you through the program schedule for today. We would begin the session with the welcome address by a Professor Neela Kollapudi, Director MBA course. And then we will be having the opening remarks by Professor Vivek Kumar. He's from the IIT Delhi and also the National Unnat Bharat Abhiyan coordinator. Followed by Dr. Sunita's address on the early childhood care and education, the school education as well. And the final session would be the address by Dr. T. Vijay Kumar, Associate Professor, NIRDPR of the Northeastern Center, Guwahati, Assam. He would be focusing on vocational education, teacher and higher education. So without much ado, I invite Professor Neela Gollapudi to deliver her welcome address. Over to Professor Neela Gollapudi.
Thank you so much,
Shobha, please can you ask your somebody people to admit me into the room? So I am logging from the laptop. Right now I am on the phone.
Okay, sir. We'll just be doing it.
Yeah.
So good morning to all of you who are present here. Thank you, Professor Vivek, Dr. Sunita, and Professor Vijay Kumar for accepting to speak at this webinar, and that too at such a short notice. Thank you so much for being here with us. It's a pleasure to have you all with us today, and then create awareness about this national education policy. This is the new education policy 2020. I think it's not an exaggeration when I say that a country is as good as its education system. And I think every country worth its name requires a robust education system for its all-round development. And an education system which doesn't meet the expectations and the aspirations of the various stakeholders, it requires a certain review and replacement if need be. So I think this particular education policy, the new education policy, is in that direction, because I think it's not to say that the old education system was not working for us. It's a little outdated for the 21st century. So you need a 21st century response education system for a 21st century world. And so to reflect those new realities, I'm sure this new education policy has been drafted keeping that in mind. So this is in the step, it's in the right direction. That's what I feel, that the new education policy is a step in the right direction. But we will know about whether it's the right direction or not only after we implement it. So it's not just formulating a policy, but implementing the policy in the right spirit with which it was being drafted. I think that is very important. And all the stakeholders involved need to be made aware of not just what the policy is, but how they can take it forward. So one of the things that I felt with this new education policy, when I'm not an expert like you people, I just have some brief, just a general idea about it, that, in India, we have always worked in silos. Science education means that you focus too much only on the sciences and you don't touch upon the humanities. And if you come from the humanities, you have no understanding of the scientific temper. So I think the new education policy tries to combine both. And so we have graduates who are humane in their concern and scientific in their capabilities. So I'm sure this new education policy is, because it gives a lot of choice to the students to pick up whatever they want and excel at a particular field, is definitely a nice suggestion or proposal. And so I definitely welcome that aspect. And just to speak about our college, this Kasturba Gandhi College for Women was set up nearly 5 decades ago, as I was sharing with Dr. Sunita Burra. And this was meant to bring about education to, they're specifically focused on underserved and underprivileged sections. And at that time, women's colleges were very limited in this Telangana region. So the Exhibition Society, which is our sponsor, set up these educational institutions with good infrastructure. And then we have a lot of students, women students who have passed out of these colleges, who have made a mark for themselves in various fields, in cricket, in international fora also, and then heading certain organizations. So I can't keep on naming all of them, but then they are really well settled in many walks of life. So we have always tried to uphold this combination of humaneness and scientific temper, and value-based education has been emphasized in our college. So I hope today's deliberations will throw light on how this new education policy will impact all the stakeholders, and that's why we have made it accessible to everybody who is interested in learning this about this one. And then I hope it'll prepare us to adopt to this new brave new world that we are likely to enter. And with these few words, welcome all of you, all the participants. Thank you so much. Over to Professor Vivek.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Neela. And thank you, Professor Shobha, for giving me this opportunity.
I think
And
Shobha
I'm
would
really,
like to.
Sir, before you begin, I would like to just introduce you to the participants. Just give me a second.
yeah,
Well, today we are pleased to have our special guest, Professor Vivek Kumar, CRDT, Center for Rural Development Technologies, IIT Delhi, and Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, National Coordinator. Good morning, sir, and thank you for being here this morning. Well, Professor Vivek Kumar has several credentials, and few among them are he's a PhD from IIT Delhi and a postdoctoral fellow from IWT Applied Science University, Germany. He's been a visiting research professor at University of Toronto, and he's been a recipient of several awards and honors. Notable among them is the SRF grant from Shastri Indo-Canadian Institute. He has several publications over his 18 years of research and academic experience. And his particular focus has been on the development of low-cost technologies in treating industrial waste, which is immensely contributing to the development of sustainable development of rural India. And along with all these credentials, Professor Vivek Kumar is the UBA National Coordinator, and he's been spearheading this program since its inception in 2014 by the Ministry of Human Resource Development. Today, Professor Vivek Kumar will be sharing with us the role of UBA in promoting the National Education Policy 2020. We welcome you, sir, and you can take it over from here.
yeah. Thank you, Dr. Shobha. And once again, thanks for inviting me. And I also welcome Professor Vijay Kumar from NIRDPR and Dr. Sunita on this occasion. And now it's very interesting, as you said, that what will be the role of UBA in taking forward this new education policy. If I talk about new education policy, of course, I'll not be discussing much on new education policy because Professor Vijay Kumar and Dr. Shobha, Dr. Sunita will be discussing more on it. But I'll just take one or two keywords in this new education policy and then try to see how it is so closely linked with UBA. So if we talk about the foundation pillars of our new education policy 2020, it talks about access, it talks about equity, affordability, quality, and accountability. And the aim of this new education policy is to, make the education, whether it is school education or higher education, more holistic, flexible, and multidisciplinary. And it says that it has to be suited for 21st century, as Professor Neela mentioned. And of course, it will help in achieving sustainable development goals. Now, if we draw the parallels of some of these key terms with the vision, mission of Unnat Bharat Abhiyan and objectives of Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, so it seems that probably when this education policy was drafted, the members were quite inspired probably by the ethos of Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. In fact, Unnat Bharat Abhiyan ethos are also inspired by the vision of our beloved Rashtrapita Mahatma Gandhi. So the whole new education policy is now talking about this holistic and then multidisciplinary approach and it also talks about the utility of the education towards society. So as I said that if you look at the vision of Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, it is that only. So in Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, we are talking about, so if you look at the objectives of Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, one of the objective of Unnat Bharat Abhiyan is reorientation of academic curricula and R&D design. And how do we reorient this? Our aim is to reorient this in a manner so that it becomes more suitable, more useful to the society. Like we are emphasizing in many of our workshops that if we include 15 to 20% of the content of, the syllabus suited to regional development or regional conditions or regional environment. Similarly, Unnat Bharat Abhiyan is talking about networking among institutions, networking among students of various disciplines, networking among students and faculty members, networking with community. And if you look at the overall vision of that, the idea is learning cross-discipline, learning cross-sections. So when I'm talking about learning cross-sections means when students and faculty members, they are going to the community, they are engaging with the community, they are sharing their knowledge with the community, and they are also bringing back a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge from the community. Similarly, when the students of different discipline will be joining hand for transforming the rural development process, then they all together will learn about their about different disciplines. Now, one thing is very clear, and in fact, it was clear to a large section of the educationists and scientists and researchers since long that no society can develop if disciplines grow in silos. I just take one example. Quite often we say that for the development of any society, when I say development, most of the people, they consider development as economic growth. So when we need to, so for the development or for the economic growth of the society, S&T interventions are quite necessary. And at times what happens that we blindly believe that more and more technology will enable us to grow and will enable us to create wealth. However, during this pandemic time, some of the very interesting features, although it's a crisis time, but I would say it is a learning time also. We have seen that some of the shortcomings of the technology or some of the ill effect of this technology are quite obvious and quite visible. So, for example, there were many reports where we see that air quality is improving. There are many reports where we say that quality of water in water streams is improving. And obviously it is due to stopping of all anthropogenic activity. So what is the conclusion? Conclusion is that application of technology for the growth or for the economic growth without considering other aspects, like in this case, the aspect is ecology. So without considering those aspects, without considering biodiversity, without considering the impact of emissions on environment, leads to disaster. And that is the key where we see that multidisciplinary approach of learning, multidisciplinary approach of education is quite important. Being from a technological institution, when we look at our curriculum, we always see that, like for example, civil engineering student or chemical engineering student, I'm a student of chemical engineering. So what we have studied about environment is through just one unit, and that also we learn in third year. Now that is something being environment is being taught to us in silos, in isolation, and we are not able to connect these environmental issues or sustainable development issues with our knowledge in core knowledge in chemical engineering. So when we say, when this national education policy, new national education policy is talking about multidisciplinary learning, it is actually talking about the churning of ideas from different aspects. Now, without knowing geography, without knowing the cultural background, social background, now we always see that there are, and many times our students, we also as intellectual many times wonder that there are government schemes for development in tribal areas, in some areas where people are not accepting the model of that development. And we always wonder why it is happening. People are not accepting development. They are living in, they are living with very less facilities. They are not interested in getting comfort of development. And we wonder why it is happening. But you see, in this case, the understanding of development is without understanding the social and cultural context of that particular society. That means there is a lack of understanding of sociology or anthropology of that particular community or that particular group. And that is what this new education policy is envisaging. Learning across the discipline, learning across the section. And I'm proud to say that Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, when it was conceptualized in 2014, it recognized all these issues. And that is how it got evolved. We prepared our vision and mission. We decided our objectives. And we are happy to see that by the time we reached to 2020, and by the time we were reaching to more than 2,700 institutions, there is a new education policy which is highlighting almost everything which is highlighted in Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. In 2019 only, UGC came up with this guidelines on this fostering social responsibility and community engagement. Now, if you look at this document, and when you go through some of the key things of national education policy, you find a lot of similarity, and it has to be there. What I find now that the institution, those already who are working under Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, and already have learned this this process of interdisciplinary learning, community engagement, learning from the field, learning from the life, they all will be able to adopt this new education policy in a very fast manner. Already many of our institutions, they have started this. Recently, I was in a meeting with some UGC officials, and UGC officials, they recognize that yes, the kind of preparation we people have done for Unnat Bharat Abhiyan is really going to help agencies like UGC for implementing this new education policy. So once again, I would like to congratulate this Kasturba College of Women for organizing this seminar. As a network or as a program, Ministry of Education has given us responsibility to take forward this new education policy among students, among faculty members, among community. But what I can say is that, so that is something which we'll be doing, like you are organizing this seminar today. But probably we had been doing this job since last 6 years. So, for example, your institutions has joined Unnat Bharat Abhiyan since last 1 or 2 years. I do not know exactly. So, since then, your institution, since then, Dr. Shobha is already engaged, in implementation of this new education policy. And I hope that institution like yours or other institutions who are engaged with Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, they'll be, very helpful in the implementation of this new education policy. So with these words, I would like to conclude. And once again, thanks to Kasturba College of Women for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your valuable insights into the ethos of UBA and its objectives, and also for emphasizing the importance of the multidisciplinary learning approach and the learning across various cross sections of the society. And also, I would appreciate the role of UBA in fostering community engagement and developing a sense of social responsibility. Thank you once again. Sir, you were mentioning that you are pressed for time.
Yeah, so if you permit me, because I have a meeting at 10:30.
Thanks
So
for
if you
gracing this
permit me,
occasion.
yeah,
Yes, sir.
okay.
Thank you for gracing this
Thank you.
occasion, and we look forward for further
So,
interaction with you.
so
Thank
Dr.
you,
Sunita
Professor.
and Professor Vijay, kindly excuse me. So,
Thank you,
Sure,
sir.
sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nice to
Thank
hear
you, sir.
from you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great pleasure for me to introduce our next speaker, Dr. Sunita Gura, Head Programs, Pratham Education Foundation. Dr. Sunita is having a very long uh, experience of more than 25 years with the social service sector, and she has a professional vision that all primary, pre-primary, and secondary school students should have quality education, and to train and nurture school leaders who can be effective educators in the society. Well, this subject which she is going to deal with today on early childhood care education and social is very interesting for our group here, as we can see that this is what will be fostering the growth and development of the new generation who will be the torchbearers for our country and will be immensely contributing to the development of a nation. So over to Dr. Sunita Burra.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Shobha. Good morning, everyone, and very good morning to all the participants. So in my today's session, I will be touching upon basically, like early childhood education and school education of NEP, what it is actually talking about. So I am very happy to hear from Professor Vivek about, he very clearly mentioned about, access, equity, affordable and quality education is very important for future India. So the National Education Policy 2020 is the first education policy of 21st century, and it aims to address the addressing many developmental needs of our country. Actually, this policy is, proposing the revision and revamping of all aspects of the educational structure, including its regulations and governance, and also to create new system that is aligned with aspirations of 21st century India. And the main focus is on giving quality education to each and everybody, and giving a lot of importance to early childhood care and education. So, touching upon that particular point, today I would like to share with you what is early childhood education and how it is important. Just give me 1 second to share my screen. Yeah. Can you all see the screen?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So as we have already discussed about what is the vision of this national education policy, it is basically, would like to have kind of a transforming our nation. There are two things here. We are talking about transformation, which is like very important, keeping in mind the demands of our country. Like nowadays, everybody is talking about artificial intelligence and machine learning and kind of very high kind of science and technology. And at the same time, the humanities are kind of ignored. So it is like, as Dr. Neela also has mentioned in the beginning, how we should see this as a holistic approach. So we also would like to have this, vibrant knowledge society, just not a education kind of, just giving only education. So, and the second important thing is like what is access, equity, quality, and affordability and accountability. We all know that today 3.5 crores of early childhood education children, which are in the age group of 3 to 6 year olds, are really not able to afford quality education in India. So, keeping some kind of a data also in mind, this education policy is giving a lot of importance to this particular segment of population. Let us see what are the key priorities of National Education Policy 2020. Education for all by 2030 is the core fundamental thing, and all children to acquire foundational literacy and numeracy by 2025. We shall talk about what is foundational literacy and numeracy in coming slides. The other important thing is information technology, how it should be integrated to teaching methodologies. Right now, we all know that how kind of very quickly we have adopted to this kind of virtual trainings and using lot of digital platforms, and even we can say semi rural, semi urban, and even of course in the rural India also many children are actually getting benefited by this kind of digital platforms, which is also one of the important thing that has been mentioned in this NEP. And bringing 2 crore students back to school, that is to restrict dropout rates. Focus on 21st century skills in teaching, learning, and assessment. So here it is the most important is these three things are actually associated with each other. The assessment, we are not talking about testing or exams kind of a thing, but we just want to kind of understand where the children are before the kind of any program intervention, and what is the progress that the child is making after the intervention. So this kind of continuous assessments are also really important for the child to, grow from one step to other in the process of learning. And then the new curricular and pedagogical framework of 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. I think this is really, really important thing. The old policy, which was saying about 10 plus 2 framework, now it is being shifted to 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. What does it mean? 5 is like nothing but the early years. So initially we were having just nursery, LKG, UKG, and again the primary sections are from grade 1 to 5. But now we are calling early years as 3 to 8 years old, that is nursery, LKG, UKG, grade 1 and 2. So these 5 years are very, very important for any human being, and for the complete life, as well as for the whole learning process. And the other three is the grade 3, 4, 5, and then other three years are like the 6, 7, 8 grades, and 4 is 9, 10, 11, 12. So why this decision has been taken is like, we all know that I think there are some psychology background students and professors are also there. We are all there in this education sector. Each age requires a different kind of a treatment, a different, because the children or the students will have a different psychological needs. So keeping that particular point in mind, I think this is a very welcoming change, which is addressing their psychological needs also. And according to that, they can learn in the schools. So as I already mentioned here, you can see that the first 5 years period is for nursery, LKG, UKG, and the remaining 2 years period first, second grades. So it is the first 5 years, it is called foundational. Why foundational? We all know that, before 6 years of age, 90% of the brain development happens, and the kind of opportunities the child gets, then only his learning or his whole behavior depends upon that particular age. So what is early childhood age? It is 3 to 6 years. This 3 to 6 years of age will have lot of demands. The child can grasp whatever and how much ever the opportunities or the stimulation that you give. So the kind of activities which are like to be given are very important, where the child's curiosity and the cognition and emotion and other needs are met. So that is why this particular age is considered as very important, and it should have access to free, safe, and high quality and developmentally appropriate. So when we talk about the high quality, so almost I think we as Pratham, we actually release annual status of education reports which talk about learning levels of children. It is basically to understand children are going to school, but are they learning or not? So when we look at this particular learning aspect, this definitely depends upon the kind of foundational skills the child is getting at the pre-primary level. So if there are several studies, longitudinal studies says that when the child attends a proper preschool up to 6 years of age, his literacy and numeracy skills are much, much higher than the child who has not got this kind of an opportunity. So that is the reason we need to really give a lot of importance to this 3 to 6. And of course, we have the system in place like Anganwadis, where in every village, for every 1,000 households, we have one Anganwadi where children 0 to 6 are taken care, and particularly 3 to 6 years, the preschool component also should be taken care. But unfortunately, the problem is the Anganwadi workers are overburdened with many other things, and this preschool component is completely neglected. So that is the reason children are not learning anything. Just the basic, the concepts or the kind of cognitive development or language development, without having all these developments, when the child enters grade 1, already he lost kind of a 6 years of age, the crucial years, and he continued to struggle in the primary grades, and similarly he goes to upper primary and high school, where he comes out without any kind of a quality or the knowledge. So that is the reason we find many of these the students having certificates or having degrees, but their knowledge or the application is really very bad. So I think we really have to focus on this particular 3 to 6 preschool education, which is really important, that has been given a lot of importance in this policy. So as I already discussed, 85% of the child's cumulative brain development occurs prior to the age of 6 years. So, and one more important thing, many countries, they think that why should we spend on education? Because there is no kind of returns on this. Like okay, if you spend more on industries or if you spend more on other things, you get that higher GDP. But this policy says 6% of the GDP investment on education. I think this is also very welcoming aspect. When you spend 1 rupee, you will get 10 rupees in return. So this is one more important thing. Yeah, I already said this. India has a lot of learning crisis. Annual status of education report says a grade 5 student, 50% of grade 5 students in India are not able to read the grade 2 level text. Similarly, 62% of in India, fifth grade kids are not able to do simple subtractions. So this has been the report for the last 10 years. And as Pratham, we are trying to, even we tried our best to advocate this and taking this issue to the different levels. And now we have, we proudly say that we also have contributed some things to this policy making draft procedures, because unless you have the quality, you cannot actually attain the foundational, kind of a knowledge. So I think this literacy, learning crisis is the, major addressing factor that we all need to understand. And also we need to fill up this advantaged and disadvantaged group of children. How do we do this? As we said in the beginning itself, the affordability is also very important. That is why the governments are asked to actually converge these Anganwadi preschool system to shifting these centers or starting pre-primary education centers inside the government schools, where this the middle class or lower middle class population, where they are spending more than 50% of their salaries on sending their children to low cost private schools, where there is absolutely no quality of education is provided. So keeping all these things in mind, I think these points to be taken in a very spirited manner. And as in the beginning, Professor Neela also said that how do we implement also, this is also one of the important key aspect here. So, okay, so how do we strengthen this system, this early childhood education system? So the one is like new Anganwadis will be built up. Our Anganwadis workers trained in techniques of cognitive stimulation for infants. See, basically, if you look at the whole India, we do a lot of Anganwadi teacher training programs, where we understand that during induction time, these Anganwadi teachers will be given only 1 month of training on all aspects, that is health, nutrition, education, immunization, but focused pre-primary training is completely ignored. So that is the reason for the last 6-7 years we have been actually partnering with women and child welfare departments and district level integrated child development departments to strengthen this preschool component in Anganwadis by training these Anganwadi workers only on preschool components. Because as we discussed earlier, these four developments, the language, cognitive development, and physical development and social developments are really, really important for later years. So that is the reason focusing on play-based activities is, I think, really a helpful thing. And second thing is co-locating Anganwadis with primary schools when possible. See, this policy says all these things, but again, the state governments, they have to take it in a very spirited manner while implementing all these things. And co-locating preschools with primary schools wherever possible, as I said. Already, I think this process has been started, and AP government CM has asked to converge WCD and school education departments to come up with a kind of a framework where pre-primary, will be starting from, pre-primary is started in the government schools. Similarly, in Telangana also, many districts have already started this early childhood education centers in the government schools. So these are the, I think, implementation, I think definitely will take in a slow manner, but yes, we should expect good results. So other thing is like focus on health, nutrition, and why it is important. We all know that unless the the nutrition part and health part is taken care, the child's cognitive development is definitely is going to effect. So that is with the breakfast. Also, I mean, already Anganwadis are providing meal, and also in the government schools, we all know that midday meal is provided, but extra breakfast also should be given. That is one of the policy implication it says. Okay. So another important thing is like instruction in mother tongue and local language up to primary and continued up to 8th grade wherever possible. So this we don't know how the governments will take and the parents will take, but all the research says that if the child is actually trained in mother tongue and if he actually gets a lot of exposure in mother tongue, his other language skills in other languages will be really good. So no rote learning and only conceptualization and no examination in pre-primary classes and reduction in content load. These are all like really welcoming points. And other thing is like, as I said, this play-based education should be given a lot of importance. And I mean, the most important qualities like, compassion and teamwork, which even today in many adults are lacking in their own workplace, or even the students are also are lacking these kind of attitudes and interpersonal skills, whatever that we say. So these things are, I think, really very important when we nurture from the childhood onwards. And learning about, see, as I said, that language, learning about language, numbers, counting, coloring, shaping. So these things we all think that they are very simple, but they are not really simple. Unless the teacher or the mother or any volunteer is trained, it is very difficult for a child to actually grasp all these things in a structured manner. So, I mean, very simple examples like the sequencing. The sequencing activity, people think that it's like, okay, it's fine. For example, just laying seed and then the plant comes and then there are flowers and then fruits. It is like a sequencing thing. So that, really helps a child in the primary and upper primary grades to understand in a sequential manner if he's going to solve a mathematical problem, or he is going to do a science experiment, or he is going to do some kind of a history subject. So these are the simple examples that I think we need to inculcate right from early childhood days. So other thing is like, yeah, how this NCRT, the guidelines have been given for preparing this curriculum and pedagogical framework for ECCE in two ways. So one is like preschool children of 0 to 3 years, specially intended for parents as well as Anganwadi teachers. So I would like to stress upon one important thing of how Pratham is actually, promoting involvement of mothers in the learning process of children. Like we have been doing this for the, I think, more than 5 years, all the experiments, creating mother groups, though they are illiterate, but just giving them some simple activities, whatever is available in the home, how they can actually, involve in the learning process. Just simple example, classification of fruits and vegetables. We just tell mother, okay, just mix all the vegetables and fruits and then ask the child to segregate, classify. So that itself is an important activity and simple activity. So creating mothers groups, the education, we all know that education just will not happen inside the school or inside any four rooms. It should happen, I mean, the community, in the society, in the family. I mean, it's like a complete, all the stakeholders need to be involved in this. So other thing is the 3 to 8-year-old children to meet the needs of foundational stage. As we said that it should be, yeah. One more important thing, it is stressing more on localized arts, songs, stories, and rhymes, which is really important. Suppose we say chubby cheeks, dimple chin. Most of our rural children are like malnourished, and they don't know what is chubby cheeks. I mean, just saying these kind of rhymes, I think doesn't make any kind of relevance. And one similarly, rain, rain, go away. Rain, rain. I mean, we really need rain, but why are we saying that? So there are rich. I mean, there is rich culture in India in each and every state, in each and every district, and every local. What is a local art and culture? I think as the students of degree college or whatever, you really need to understand this, and we need to promote this for the children. Okay, so this is all about, I think, early childhood education thing, and we shall move to school education. After this pre-primary 3 years, we have, the primary stage, that is grade 3, 4, and 5, 8 years to 11 years, and then middle stage, grade 6, 7, 8. So, and then 10th, 11th, and the 4 years are 9th, 10th, and 12th, 11th, and 12th. So then we see this here, how as I said it very clearly in the early childhood education, how we give importance to local culture and arts. Similarly, even in the school education also, the textbooks are talking about, I mean, of course, we have to have one common textbook, but at the same time, the teacher is like, need to be proactive in bringing up the local flavor to the classroom atmosphere, which is really important for the child to have a logical thinking, and also the computational thinking, digital literacy. So these things are really very important, and all these things are dependent on teacher as well as the parents and other stakeholders in the society. So as Professor Vivek also said in the beginning, and Dr. Neela also said, this is science, meaning it's not just science. I mean, how do we actually look at holistically? That is very important. Like we all know that engineers who are like electrical engineers, where they just can't even put a bulb or can't even fix the fuse. So it should not be like that. They have to understand completely the kind of a theory with practical, and also what needs of the society. We spoke about this holistic development of learners. I mean, how do we, these terms are really important, but if you break each and every term, we can talk about, I mean, more than 2 to 3 hours on each and every word. So what is critical thinking? What is creativity? All these things, I'm sure I would request all the students to please actually understand the meaning of each and every terminology, and how it is taken in the, good spirit. And curriculum content, definitely, like, the policy says that we have to reduce the burden on the child, no exam fear. We know that even in today in India, the suicidal rates are really very high. Why? Because a lot of stress and just exams and only education, but no other activities. So I think this policy clearly says that, it should be like inquiry based and discovery based, and a lot of discussions to happen. So it should promote a kind of, the teaching learning atmosphere in the class should be not one way method, but it should be child centric and discussion mode, and also a lot of analysis based learning. Then I think already this is one of the most important thing, like flexibility in courses. So there are some courses where, say for example, if I'm really poor in mathematics, maybe in my graduation, I can just opt for music or art or any other elective courses. I think this is also one of the welcoming thing in this policy. But it doesn't mean that you take all elective courses and get the degrees. But yes, this flexibility of taking different courses according to your interest, that is there. And another thing is like bilingualism in classrooms, though it says that mother tongue is the most important thing, but as we know that parents, they really want their children to go to English medium schools, and they want to, get that kind of English thing in their day-to-day thing. So, bilingual is, I think, English come Telugu. I think these things are really doable, and a lot of experiments are happening. So these are the things the state governments, they have to really look into it while implementing this particular component. Again, if you look at this national mission on foundational literacy and numeracy will be set up by MHRD. and training to teachers and imparting foundational literacy and numeracy.
Hello. I think we are having an audio issue with Dr. Sunita Burra. Hello.
I think we have lost contact with her.
Yeah.
There's a network issue, ma'am.
Okay.
We'll just wait for a minute. Yeah. Just give me a moment.
I think Dr. Sunita is some technical problem is there. I have contacted. She will be joining
Okay.
within 1 or 2 minutes.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. So far, Dr. Sunita Burra was presenting on early childhood education, and at the same time, she was also presenting on school education.
Can you hear me,
Yeah,
sir?
yes. Yeah, yes,
Yeah, I
ma'am.
think she's
Yes,
back.
ma'am.
I'm so sorry. I think my this thing got disconnected.
We can hear
yeah.
you, ma'am.
So
You can
I just
continue.
yeah, I would like to share some experience from our field. Like as I said earlier, we are a lot of programs for early childhood group and also for the primary group.
Ma'am.
Basically, these are like yeah.
Ma'am, there's
Hello?
a voice disturbance
Hello?
coming. There's a voice disturbance coming from your end, ma'am. The voice is not clear.
Voice is not clear. Am I not audible?
And now it is clear, ma'am. You can continue.
Is it okay now?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it clear? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. So, as I said, I just want to share some of our experiences from the field, you know, how these kind of new methodologies for early childhood group as well as for primary group are very important. You know, though we have curriculum and textbooks and classroom teaching, but at the same time, how children should be given different kind of new methods. The one is like, as I said earlier, our children are going to school. We have achieved like about 96% of our children are in the school. But at the same time, 50% of fifth grade children are only able to read class 2 level text. So how do we address it? Then the activities according to their level, but according to their grade or standard. So this kind of new techniques are also we are doing. And during this lockdown period also, how we have used this digital platform to reach out to the most unprivileged and even rural and tribal kids are also. I just want to show one minute video here. Hello? Yeah. One second, I'm just showing. Network issues here. So if you can open that link, please.
Hello.
Dr. Sunita, you just wear your earphones so that the echo will be minimized.
Oh, you are getting echo now?
Yes, ma'am.
You just wear earphones and then you present.
Okay. Yeah, I think I just wanted to show one small video, 1 minute video. Maybe I'm just going to. Here to show that video. Anyway, is how do we improve the quality by considering that particular age group, early childhood age group, which is like very important, as I said earlier, and that the child can actually move to primary, learning more things. So.
Hello.
She has discussed.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so anyway, I'm before that I would like to just show this one particular program, what we have done during, I mean what we are continue to do during this pandemic,
Excuse me, ma'am, we are not able to
all the
hear.
parents. Oh, you're not able to hear. Is it okay now?
Same.
Yes, ma'am.
Do good for others. Everything comes back.
No, I'm just trying to share some of our field experiences. See, this is the SMS which goes to our parents, where they are asked to do this kind of simple activities at home, spending at least 20 minutes to 30 minutes with their kids. This kind of encouragement and motivation to parents is very important to involve in the learning process. This also has been clearly mentioned in NEP, how best you will help mothers if they are illiterates. So, this simple whatever things that are available at home, how they can use, and I mean, they can just sit with the child and talk about.
Your audio is not coming, Dr. Sunita.
Thank you.
Hello.
Ma'am, we are not able to hear you.
Yeah. I think I'm done with my presentation. Maybe if any questions. I don't know why that echo. It's not from my side. I think somebody has opened to.
Now it is okay. You just you increase your volume, increase your sound.
No, that it is in the full. It is in full.
Okay.
Yeah, a
I'm
little
just
bit louder.
calling
It is coming now.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, I think I have covered most of the points, like even in school education also, how particularly implementation. When we talk about implementation, we need to actually have kind of collaborations and partnerships with the different institutes or organizations. Not only just governments can do this kind of work, but as universities, colleges, NGOs, how best they all need to come together to bring this change, or when we talk about this transformation. So as I said earlier also, if we actually adopt a village or a community, definitely I'm sure that you all must have done some kind of a mapping, and you all must have done some kind of a set goals. So how best we can cover all the age group of children in that particular village. So that is what at present we are trying to do with the program called Hamara Gaon, that is Mauru, Ma Gramam, or Ma Gramam. So in this kind of a thing, we actually try to address the gaps in the learning, learning improvement process. So we have programs for 3 to 6 years or 3 to 8 years. Now we are seeing this early years as one segment, and it is a continuum, like kind of activity based learning. And then again for grade 3, 4, 5, basic literacy and numeracy, the functional foundational language and numeracy that are really, really important. So initially we assess the children, understanding that if the child is able to read simple words or able to read simple story. But as we all know that 4th and 5th grade students, 4th and 5th grade students, if you look at the textbooks, it's a rich content and text. But unfortunately, our children are really not able to even identify some letters or read some simple words. So we need to understand and do some kind of a need assessment before any kind of a implementation process. That is what I would definitely recommend here. So anybody, if kind of implementation that we want to do, starting from simple to scalable models. So basically, where are they? So if the child is like at the 100 out of 100 children, 80 children are only able to read word and paragraph, and we are trying the child to read a rich text of grade 5 and 6, that doesn't make any sense. And also, if you open the textbook of mathematics, if you see, you have percentages, measurement, and then lot many things, but the child cannot even understand what is place value, and he doesn't even know like even 10 or 15 tables are simple divisions and subtractions. So 4 fundamental operations at least the child should know. If my goal is the child should be able to just do 4 fundamental operations in 30 days, or the child should be able to read simple text with understanding in 30 days. So like this, the simple goal setting will really help in the implementation process, and then we can actually link it to textbook, and also the children can actually bring in all the cultural richness to the learning process. So this is what I would actually like to say now. As Pratham, we are always willing to do, as Dr. Neela said, that there is some community connect. We welcome your students also to participate in in our community-based programs. We do have a lot of communities working, almost more than 200 communities we are working in Hyderabad city, and both Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, we are there in almost all the districts. So any kind of support, we are there to come forward for the implementation of this NEP, and I'm sure that we all will work together for transforming India.
Thank you, ma'am. We have a couple of questions by Mr. Mohammed Abdul.
Yeah.
He has 2 questions, in fact. One is related to the overburdening.
One second.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
1 second. I just want to 1 second. I just want to show one video, like how these children are,
This video sound is not coming,
during
Dr.
this
Sunita.
pandemic.
The video was not audible, ma'am.
Okay.
Earlier
Video
you have
sound is
tried.
not coming.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's fine. Maybe I can share the links later.
Yeah, you can
See,
post
it
it on
says
the.
that we are sending SMS. Sure. Okay.
Well, I think if you can post that on the chat, all of them can
Sure.
actually go
Yeah.
through. Post the request you to
Yeah.
post the link on the chat.
Yeah. Sure.
Well, these two questions are from.
Yeah,
Ma'am?
Yeah, please. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, one of the question is related to the overburdening of Anganwadi workers, and how are we going to address that? And the second question related to when NEP is focusing on digital and distance learning without addressing ICT developments in rural areas. These two questions have been posed by Mr. Mohammed Abdul.
Yeah, so the first question, I think overburdened in the sense, previously Anganwadi worker is the main person in the village where she will have all the information of children as well as Kishori Balikas, like, adolescent girls and expecting mothers and mothers. So a lot of information she has to maintain. Administratively, she has to actually maintain nearly, 10 to 15 registers. So now the plan is to reduce that burden and focus more on, and also previously, whatever the surveys used to happen, she is the only one has to participate in that surveys. So, and particularly, distribution of food is number one activity. And number two, whether all the children in that village have been immunized or not. And expecting and lactating mothers are actually getting nutritious food or not. What is the health and hygiene? And apart from all these things, in the Anganwadi, where she has to take care these 3 to 6 year old children on delivering these activities. But actual scene is like mostly our children, 3-4 children only are there in Anganwadis. But by the time they enter into 5th year, they will go to grade 1. So that is, I think, the new education policy says we have to give importance and train all the Anganwadi teachers on pre-primary education principles. Because unless the teacher should spend at least 1 to 2 hours time with this age group of children, they cannot actually cope up in primary and high school level. So based on all the researchers, this NEP says that. And second question is like, how do we actually, can you repeat the second question? Digital thing, right?
Yeah, digital and distance learning is what NEP is focusing, but without addressing the ICT development in the rural areas.
ICT development, with our experience, what I'm saying, we have done a very sample-based assessment 3 months ago to understand how many of them are having Android phones and how many of them are having normal phones, just to start our digital intervention program. Digital intervention program is okay, I have 30 students where I want to give communicative English course, whether they have this Android phone or Zoom app kind of a facility. Yes, about 67% of even rural India today, they have Android phones, and other whatever the 33%, they have this simple normal basic phones. So I think not necessary we need to establish big physical structures on ICT labs kind of a thing, but there are other ways where we learned during this pandemic critical situation. We have really learned many new technology things. So how best we can actually adopt this new technology, taking this to rural villages. Even today, we are covering almost like more than 5,000 children only in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh by sending WhatsApp and SMS messages where the children are doing projects and they are sending back the feedback. And number 2, we are covering degree students and high school students, communicative English classes. And number 3, we have established a technology called Workplace. It acts like a Facebook. On the Workplace, where the students are enrolled and they are learning some vocational skilling like hospitality and then beauty and other healthcare courses like 2 months courses. So there are so many things I think we need to explore.
Well, thank you, ma'am. There's a message left by Professor Neela, thanking you for your generous offer for our institution. Well, with that, I once again thank Dr. Sunita for her valuable insights into the foundation years of a child, that is between 3 to 6 years, and also appreciate the contribution by Pratham Education Foundation in the early child care education and school education. We look forward to interacting with you further, ma'am, and we'll definitely take your assistance for the UBA program, where we have adopted 5 villages and we are primarily focusing on school education there. Thank you once again.
Thank you. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thanks, ma'am. Well, now I would welcome our next speaker, Dr. T. Vijay Kumar, Associate Professor, NART PR from the Northeastern Regional Center, Guwahati, Assam. Dr. Vijay Kumar has more than 30 years of academic training and research experience, and in the national and international arena in the area of educational, behavioral, and organizational development. He is a recipient of Best Teacher Award, and he's been a project director monitoring several educational projects. Dr. Vijay Kumar is a resource person on community mobilization, school education leadership, and is a well-known consultant too. He has several publications in the area of development management. Today, he will be enlightening us on the topics of vocational education, teacher, and higher education. Let us pay attention and understand how the national education policy on higher education, which is going to shape the future and career of millions of youth. We welcome you, sir, and you can proceed with your address.
Thank you. Thank you to the authorities of Kasturba Gandhi Women's Degree College for giving me an opportunity to interact on this new policy, that is the National Education Policy 2020. Am I audible? My voice is okay?
Sir,
Yes, sir.
can you disconnect your mobile? Because there are 2 Zoom platforms which are using here.
Yeah. Can I disconnect this one? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Just a minute. Yes.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
My voice is okay?
Yes, sir. You're audible.
You are getting my voice, please?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yes, good morning, friends. Hello?
Yeah, good morning, sir,
Good
once again.
My voice is okay?
morning, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm not getting your voice.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Sir,
Yes, please.
we can hear you.
Sir, it is audible.
Yes.
Good morning, sir.
So I am connecting to my mobile also because the voice is not coming. Yes, please.
We can hear you, sir.
Just a minute. Just 1 minute, please. This some audio problem is there.
Okay.
So I will operate with both the devices. Just 1 minute, please. Yes. Am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Some audio problem is there with the laptop. So therefore, I am using both mobile and this. Yeah.
Sure, sir.
So thank you very much, Dr. Shobha and Professor Neela and other authorities for giving me this opportunity to interact on this particular session.
Excuse me, sir. We are getting two voices, sir.
Two voices.
Yes, sir.
So you can mute this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it is okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this National Education Policy 2020, it was approved by our cabinet ministry at the federal government on July 29, is an historic step in our Indian education system. So before going into the details, I would like to ask the participants that today everybody is talking about the change and the transformation. We have to transform India. We have to transform the society. We have to transform the colleges. Can anybody can give the answer that what do you mean by transformation? Can you post on the chart, please? What exactly you mean the transformation when we are talking about transforming India? Change, adding value. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah. Yeah. So now we are going to talk about the National Education Policy, the 2020, particularly the vocational education and higher education we are going to discuss. Along with this, I would like to touch upon some of the key points related to teacher education also. So when we are talking about change and transformation, people are taking these two words in a casual way. Now we are living in a pandemic situation for the last 7 months. Coronavirus, Corona COVID-19, the entire society has changed. And there is a risk of health. Life risk is also there. But when you see the people's behavior, when you see the people's behavior, when you are seeing the advisories of the state government, central government, and many other agencies, including the WHO, why people are not following these advisories? Why you are observing highly indisciplined behavior in the society in spite of knowing well that there is a risk of life? In that context, we have to see that whether our education is really giving what it is desired for the society. So in that context, do you agree that education plays a significant role in nation's development? Can anybody give the answer on the chat box, please? Chat box, please. When you agree that education plays a significant role in nation's development, what is the importance of education? Do you think that education is important? Then what does transformation mean in the context of education? Here in the context of education, the transformation should come in the behavior of the people, in terms of their attitudes, in terms of their knowledge, in terms of their skill, and in terms of their exhibited behavior. Why is it important to have policies? I think your college may be having policy, your college may be having procedures, In a similar way, in the society also, we are having a number of policies, number of programs, and at the same time, for the last 30, 35, 40 years, since independence, we have number of policies related to education. Why do we need public policy on education? That is a very, very important question. Everyone has to address this. And why is it important to update the policies? So with these few questions and its answers, let us enter into the debate of how this national education policy is giving the impetus to the development of the nation. So before going into the details, let us try to understand the importance of education. The highest human goal considered in Indian thought and philosophy was to pursue the knowledge, wisdom, and the truth. These are the three important aspects of the education. According to Mahatma Gandhi, Bunyadi Shiksha was advocated. Education as a process of realization of the best in man, body, soul, and spirit. And when you recognize that this is the importance of education, knowledge represents some of the truth, information, and what is created by all previous generations. This policy envisages creation and at the same time transmission, use, and dissemination of knowledge as a part of continuity. So therefore, this is the importance of education. When once you see this as an important thing, according to our Indian Constitution, there are some safeguards for education. Part 4 of Indian Constitution, Article 45, there is a provision of state-funded education with equitable character. And also we had 42nd Amendment to the Constitution, moved education from state list to concurrent list. And at the same time, we brought 86th Amendment Act, Article 21A, where we have declared education as a right, as a fundamental right. So the Right to Education Act was implemented in the year 2010. Since then, we are giving the right in the hands of the child. Every child is having a right to get a quality education, right from the pre-primary to post-graduation level. So if you see here, what is the need of education policy? Every one of us try to understand this. Why new education policy has come? What is the necessity? More than 3 decades have passed since the last education policy was realized or released. This is the third national education policy brought forth in Indian context. The first was brought out by our late Prime Minister Srimati Indira Gandhi in the year 1968. The second policy was brought about by our late Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi in the year 1986. And this is the third policy where our Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi has brought up this policy. So after national policy education 86 and 92, there were monumental changes took place in the society. In all spheres, cultural sphere, social sphere, economic sphere, not only in our country, but across the globe also, there are monumental changes. So in this context, the education system, what we are providing education to the youth, the people that needs to gear itself for the 21st century. So that necessitates us to bring the national education policy. Accordingly, if you see the developmental changes in technology across the globe, particularly in terms of changing employment, the changing work situations and global ecosystem. So in that context, it necessitates us to frame a new education policy. And also the present education system, if you see, our education system is suffering with the problems of access. Though physically the colleges are there, physically educational institutions are there, but the quality of education is not accessible to all the people or all the persons of the society. If you see here, according to this national review reports, the research reports, the education system is not providing the social access. Quality education is not being delivered from the institutions because there is a lack of professionalism among the teachers, among the teacher educators, among the educational officers, and also the government. So the sorry state of affair in education system is growing number of single teacher schools. If you go to the rural areas, poor learning outcomes are there, as rightly pointed out by Dr. Burra Sunita. Gaps between textbook teaching and real life vocations. There is no life skills. There is no adjustment of the people in the society. Huge imbalance in rural and urban areas, private and public educational sectors. Apart from that, there is an issue of pedagogy and curriculum. If you see the pedagogy and curriculum, which is promoting rote learning, competition of the marks and ranks, lack of interdisciplinary approach in dealing these curricular aspects in the schools and colleges. Commercialization of education is also one of the important factor after liberalization of economy. Because of that, mushrooming of engineering colleges, management colleges, teacher education colleges have deteriorated the quality of education, what we are expected from the institutions. And apart from all these issues, there is a bigger issue. That is a big issue related to implementation of educational schemes. And as a result of that, the community's perception, particularly towards education, is people are thinking that this education is useless. Non-utility of formal education to the life, this was prevailed in the community, that we have to see. So by seeing this background, in this context, the new educational policy, that is the National Educational Policy 2020, has come out with beautiful recommendations. It is a welcoming sign. Under this, let us touch upon the vocational education. What is this vocational education? There is a section called vocational education in this new policy, and which recommends many new initiatives. So here, the vocational education means it is not a technical training. Here, we have to inculcate the habit of solving the problems, day-to-day problems, at the family level and at the institutional level and at the community level. So for this, the vocational education has been advocated in this new policy. The vocational education is essence of manpower planning. You go to the villages or towns or even in Hyderabad also, if you want any small thing, for example, fuse, electric fuse, or any small repair, you will not get the people. There is a shortage of manpower. So this vocational education promotes manpower planning, particularly provides knowledge, skills of a particular occupation. In ancient period, much importance was given to this type of liberal education. But at that time, liberal education was in very advantaged stage, and that was available to the particular class only. That was not equally distributed. So the perspective of vocational education is not mere technical training. Here it is the education which is promoting the skills of a vocation or a particular trade that prepares the middle level manpower. That is the main essence of this vocational education. So here in this national education policy, bagless days of vocational training was proposed, and there is a recommendation of providing hands-on experience in important vocational crafts, that is the carpentry, pottery, electric work, metal work, gardening, etc. This all should be practiced based on the curriculum from class 6 to 8, that is a grade 6, grade 7, grade 8. So all the children in all the institutions will be provided with bagless days of vocational training under this national education policy. The 10 days bagless period of internship is also recommended during 6, 7, 8 grades associated with vocational experts. So this is a significant contribution of this national education policy. So this policy advocates days encouraged throughout the year. This is not in a particular period, but throughout the year, this type of vocational skills are being imparted during holidays and also substituted with online courses, development of innate talents of students on various interests, dispositions, and capacities beyond the general curriculum. So this is very, very important recommendation. Apart from this vocational education, the policy also accepts three-language formula. There will be a greater flexibility in the three-language formula. No language will be imposed on any state. So wherever it is feasible, wherever it is possible, the three languages have to be promoted among the children. The formulation of a new and comprehensive national curriculum framework for school education and the progress card for school-based assessment will be holistic in nature. This is a new paradigm shift in this policy recommendation. 360 degrees multi-dimensional evaluation report will be there for the children's assessment, not only in the curricular subjects, but also in vocational education skills, in behavior, in values, and also in communication. So that a holistic assessment of the children will be given importance through this assessment. So that is the one of the significant contribution from this national education policy. And also continuing the examinations of grade 10, 12, and there is the policy suggests that need for undertaking coaching classes should be eliminated. That means quality education should be imparted through the institutions. And also the board examinations will be reformed, particularly the examinations patterns will be on testing the core capacities, core competencies rather than memorization. The policy also proposes to set up PARAK. PARAK is Performance Assessment Review and Analysis of Knowledge for Holistic Development. So this kind of institutions are going to be established in this national education policy in coming days. Then the coming to teacher education. This is also one of the important section where this national education policy has come out with practical recommendations. The teacher education means a program of education, research, and training of persons to teach from pre-primary to higher education level through National Council of Teacher Education. There is a National Council for Teacher Education in this country that looks after this teacher education aspect. So if you see here, the policy has come out with when schools have to adjust to the new social demands, there will be a lot of expectations for transforming themselves. So here, much of the energy that will be driven through economy will be generated in the classrooms. So here, without skilled workforce, no community will prosper. This was the belief to suggest these recommendations by this new educational policy. So despite the best efforts of our educationists, governments, the schools are struggling to meet the evolving needs of the students. And also at the same time, the schools are failed, the education institutions are failed to transform the students into future employers. Here, I can give you an example that the engineering graduates, those who are coming out from the engineering colleges, out of 100 students, only 20 students are getting employments in the industry and 80 students are being rejected. Why? Why these 80 students are rejected? Because they don't have employability skills. So therefore, the policy now here is going to help change the landscape of employment opportunities in this country. So that was the major paradigm shift in this policy. So the teacher education encompasses teaching skills, pedagogical theory, and at the same time, professional skills. So teacher education, every teacher, whether he may be teaching pre-primary or undergraduate course or postgraduate course, he should possess the good teaching skills and he should have sound skills and knowledge in pedagogy, and at the same time he should have professional skills. So through this teacher education, Now this policy is going to transform the teacher education. The teacher education and the policy refers to equip the for prospective teachers with the knowledge, attitude, behavior, and skills to perform their task effectively in the classrooms and also the schools in a wider community. So this is the essence of teacher education. So there is a proverb: if you educate a boy, you educate one individual. If you educate a girl, you educate the whole family. And if you educate a teacher, you educate the whole community. So by this saying, the teacher education has lot of importance in education section. So therefore, the national education policy has given lot of focus on this section, and a lot of recommendations have come out to build this teacher education. So here, high professional standards among the teachers are aimed to cultivate through this draft new education policy. National professional standards for teachers are going to be established by 2022. And at the same time, restructuring of National Council for Teacher Education as a professional standard setting body is the major recommendation of this policy. And the new and comprehensive national curriculum framework for teacher education will be brought out by 2021 in consultation with NCERT. And there will be a minimum degree qualification for teaching profession. That will be 4-year integrated B.Ed degree. Stringent action will be taken against the standard, substandard, stand-alone teacher education institutions. There will be a national mission for mentoring will be established under these policy recommendations. A large pool of outstanding senior retired faculty, including those with the ability to teach in Indian languages, are going to be engaged in this teacher education. So multidisciplinary approach of integrated 4-year B.Ed teacher education program is going to be launched as early as possible by 2030. Special shorter teacher education programs for handling the gifted children, children with special needs, and other creative talents are going to be the major portion of this teacher education. So the B.Ed programs with time-tested curriculum and pedagogical methods are going to be implemented in coming years. So this is the teacher education. Then coming to higher education. So what are the recommendations we can see in this higher education? Since your institution is to higher education, the major shift is earlier the teacher education was in the school education department, but now it has been considered, it has been given importance in higher education. So therefore, what are the higher education policies and programs? So coming to this higher education, present status of higher education, let us have a quick look of this. At present, the fragmentation of higher education system we are experiencing, and all the institutions we are working in silos. So there is a silo working culture, lack of access for socially disadvantaged communities. Socially disadvantaged communities are not having proper access to higher education. Suboptimal governance and leadership of higher educational institutions are also there, and this suboptimal governance is not giving good results. And inadequate career management and progression of faculty, and at the same time institutional leaders is also we are experiencing. Here if you see here, the fake colleges are also there. These fake colleges, if you see these fake colleges, when you see these fake colleges, the fake colleges in higher education system are granting the fake degrees, and as a result of that, the quality of higher education is getting deteriorated. So what is the policy vision, particularly for this uh, uh, higher education section in this national education policy? If you see here, the policy vision, if you see the policy vision, moving towards multidisciplinary education, that is the important aspect of this. and more liberal undergraduate courses are going to be proposed in this national education policy, and there will be move towards faculty and institutional autonomy. That is the policy vision. Revamping of curriculum, pedagogy, and also at the same time assessment and student support is also going to be re-engineered. And there will be a merit-based appointment of faculty positions and institutional leaders are to be placed in coming days. And establishment of National Research Foundation is the major recommendation of this national education policy. Light but tight regulatory systems are also going to be placed in this national education policy recommendations. So institutional restructuring. This is the major recommendation here. The institutional restructuring, if you see, new institutions, importantly, the new institutional architecture for higher education is going to come. Professional education will be the integral part of higher education. Then research intensive universities, there will be 3 types of educational institutions in coming years. One is the research intensive universities, teaching intensive universities will be there, autonomous degree granting colleges are going to come in place of our traditional degree colleges. And at the same time, if you see the Mission Nalanda, this is one of the significant contribution of this national education policy. Here, if you see what is Mission Nalanda, by 2020, type 1 institutions 100 and type 2 institutions 500 will be established. Here, if you see what are the type 1 and type 2 institutions, type 1 is research based universities, type 2 is teaching based institutions. So in every district, these many number of institutions are going to be established by 2020. This was the target taken out in this national education policy, that is Mission Nalanda. Then Mission Takshashila. You know that Nalanda and Takshashila are the pioneering education institutions since ancient times in our Indian context. So according to Mission Takshashila, one best quality higher education institutions are going to be established in every district of the country. If possible, in a bigger districts, 2 to 3 higher education institutions in larger districts will be there with residential facilities for students are going to be established in coming future. Then Miru and ILA. This is another significant contribution of this policy. What is Miru? Miru is nothing but multidisciplinary education and research universities. And ILA is Indian Institutes of Liberal Arts, will be set up on par with IITs and IIMs with highest global quality for undergraduate education with research. So this is a paradigm shift of the recommendation. Equal encouragement and empowerment for private higher education institutions are also going to be given. Then under this policy, government is going to establish special education zones, particularly to provide educational opportunities, equal educational opportunities to socially disadvantaged communities. And at the same time, there will be a change in open and distance learning system. Quality transformation of open and distance learning and expansion for access is also going to be given space in this new education policy. Then quality universities and colleges are going to come with the broad-based multidisciplinary holistic undergraduate programs. Flexible curriculum will be there, and there will be a creative combination of subjects, integration of vocational education. And another beauty of this national education policy is multiple entry and exit points with appropriate certification at the graduation level. Undergraduate education can be of 3 to 4 years duration with multiple exit options, and appropriate certification is also recommended in this policy. So here, for example, if a candidate joins in a graduation course, by any reason, that candidate is leaving that course after 1 year means he can take the certificate. Even if he or she wants to leave the course after 2 years means that person will be going to be awarded advanced diploma certificate. and after 3 years, bachelor's degree, and after 4 years, degree with research will be granted. That means there is a flexibility in terms of entry and exit for the children. Not only this, but for the children, the students, academic bank of credit is also going to be established for the students, digitally storing academic credits. For example, if a student joins in a particular course, but related to that course in any other universities, any other digital platform, if he or she is finding that any shorter term programs are also being offered to strengthen her faculty, means he or she can join or pursue that program. And that credits are also going to be added to this particular program, and that will be stored in their academic credits, and accordingly that will be transferred and counted towards final degree, whatever he or she is going to earn. So this is the major recommendation of this national education policy. So apart from this, regulatory system of higher education also going to be changed through this policy. Regulation, accreditation, funding, and academic standard settings are going to be changed. Higher Education Commission of India will be set up as a single overreaching umbrella body for entire higher education. That is the significant contribution of this policy, excluding medical and legal education. And there will be 4 verticals. Existing UGC and AICT are going to be merged, and under this Higher Education Commission of India, there will be National Accreditation Council, Higher Education Grants Council, and at the same time General Education Council are going to be established. So here UGC and AICT to be replaced by single higher education regulator, that is HECI. The professional councils such as the Indian Council for Agricultural Research, Veterinary Council for India are also going to be placed at the higher education sector. Then National Council for Teacher Education, Council of Architecture is also going to come. National Council for Vocational Education and Training will act as professional standard setting bodies in higher education. Then coming to universities. Universities to be named not on the basis of ownership, but on quality of education. On quality of education, universities are going to be accredited and that will be regulated. Then there will be a lot of impetus on multidisciplinary education, even IITs to move towards a more holistic curriculum with arts and humanities. Now there is a lot of importance for the technology, engineering, but now on par with engineering and technology, there will be equal importance to arts and humanities. So last week you might have seen the newspapers that in a GATE examination, there is a space for humanities and social sciences. I think last week paper notification you can refer. So that means under this national education policy, there will be a lot of importance to arts and humanities courses. The undergraduate degree will be of either 3 or 4 year duration with multiple exit options. Within this period, with appropriate certifications are going to given. So National Research Foundation would be set up to enable a culture of research. Now you can see that universities will get, the colleges of autonomy in nature will get an opportunity to conduct the research under this policy provision. So if you see that under this COVID-19, now we are hearing that Oxford University is going to come out with the vaccine. I think you may be surprised why this Oxford University is doing this. In the Western countries, all the universities are equipped with culture of research. So therefore, the same kind of culture is going to be established in Indian continent for promotion of better research through this National Research Foundation. Then another important task of this National Research Foundation would be funding competitive peer-reviewed proposals. For this, huge grants are going to be given across all the disciplines to carry out the research in this country. Then the last portion is teaching and technology. So by adopting technology and integrating ICT into the teaching, this policy suggests that right from the pre-primary education to higher education, all the teachers will be equipped through this technology. So here National Educational Technology Forum is going to be established or created to provide a platform for the exchange of ideas, using of technology to enhance the learning of the teachers, learning of the students. Then teachers will be given a rigorous training to use online teaching platforms and high quality of online content creators. The teachers will be motivated to become this kind of persons by adopting the technology. That is one of the significant contribution of this national new education policy. Then coming to use of technology platforms such as Swayam or Diksha for online training of teachers, this has to be encouraged. And there is a lot of impetus for encouragement of this kind of technology use among the teaching community under this new education policy 2020. Then coming to the significance of national education policy. So what are the significant aspects of this policy? Let us sum up quickly. So this policy has recognized the importance of formative years along with necessary learning conditions. So what are that formative years? 3 to 6 years of age group is the formative years. First time in this country, the 3 to 6 years age group population were brought into the ambit of the new education policy. There is no policy for this population at present, but this new education policy will be giving a lot of focus on development of 3 to 6 years children, in turn to promote the human resource development in this country. And this policy is going to be the game-changing policy by including vocational courses in the school curriculum. That is another significant aspect of the policy. Then expanding the universal education from 6 to 14 years to 3 to 18 years, which is a welcome step. Then categorical step out for 3-language formula, and also at the same time suggestion for teaching in mother tongue, local language for at least grade 5 up to grade 5. This is another important milestone of this policy recommendation. Then multidisciplinary nature of programs through suggestions to do away with the silos mentality. Now each discipline and the faculty are working in silos. Now onwards, after this policy implementation, we have to work in partnership. That means the management discipline faculty has to work with the languages faculty have to work with the mathematics faculty. Like that, multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary nature of teaching and also promotion of learning will be the most significant aspect from this policy. So creating healthy competition in Indian higher education system for delivery of quality education, that is also another significant aspect. Then try to achieve the balance between quality and quantity in educational sector, particularly in establishment of colleges. Now you have seen that engineering, management, teacher education, you have seen that there is a mushrooming of colleges. As a result of that, quality is being get affected. So now this policy is going to advocate there will be a balance between quantity and quality of the higher education which is going to be offered in this country. So thank you very much. So far I have touched upon the teacher education, vocational education, and the higher education aspects. And now I will stop here. And after stopping here, now it will be open for the people to interact on question and answers. So let us take some of the questions and it will be an interactive session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable and extensive insights into the national education policy, particularly related to vocational, teacher, and higher education. We have a couple of questions in the chat box. First question is from Dr. Naushin Sultana. She asks, what is your specific opinion on the quality and autonomy in the higher education in the context of National Education Policy 2020?
Yes, this is a very, very important question you have raised here. This is important question. Why means the quality aspect is now getting deteriorated. Most of the students, those who have completed graduation and post-graduation courses, are also not having employable skills. So learning is not happening in the classrooms because of many reasons. Maybe the stereotype of curriculum, the maybe the stereotype of evaluatory procedures, and promoting the rote learning, and only knowledge is going to be tested through our examination system. So therefore, the revamping and re-engineering of all the educational systems in this country is going to take place through this national education policy. So once the restructuring of faculty positions, restructuring of leadership, and also promoting the quality education in terms of equipping the teachers in terms of their knowledge, attitude, beliefs, and also the pedagogical skills, definitely will yield quality education across all the sectors, right from pre-primary to higher education.
Oh, thank you, sir. But she also has another question which is related to how the school boards and the NEP are going to be integrated, or what kind of challenges we can foresee.
Yes, this is a policy framework just now we have seen. Now there will be a lot of exercises they have to carry out, particularly to design the instructional strategies, implementation strategies based on the curriculum frameworks. So in that curriculum frameworks, your question will be given a lot of importance. So everyone should be proactively participate in the seminars, workshops. In future, the state government, central government is going to organize to carve out the implementation procedures and policies. So during that time, the stakeholders' participation is very important. And in this policy, what they have advocated is they are going to establish regulatory bodies at the state level and also at the national level. That regulatory bodies are going to integrate the system, and as a result of that, the quality of education will be ensured to all the people, particularly the socially disadvantaged communities. Thank you.
Okay, sir. There's another question by Ritika Bajaj. She specifically asks, how is it going to be applicable? I think with which batch? From which batch?
Actually, the implementation has already started now. Under this national education policy, now the first step was they have renamed the Ministry of Human Resource Development into Ministry of Education. Does it notification has already come, and establishment of curriculum frameworks are also started. The responsibility was given to NCRT, NCE, and other bodies have already been assigned, and the process is there. And it will take minimum 5 to 6 years for complete implementation of this policy, because the curriculum frameworks has to become first. Based on that curriculum frameworks, then other strategies will be followed. So and collaboration between the state and center, since this education is in the concurrent list, it is a concurrent subject. Consensus of the states are also very important, as we have seen in GST. There is a one nation, one tax. One tax was taken up by the government. So for the last 3-4 years, there was wider consultations between the central government and state governments and different agencies. And ultimately, through consensus, we have established a one nation, one tax. In a similar way, under this education also, there will be wider consultations between state governments and central governments, and that will be coming out through consensus. Definitely there will be a uniform standard policy across the country based on Indian philosophy, Indian ethos, and also Indian beliefs will be given lot of importance rather than the foreign beliefs. Okay, thank you.
Well, there's another question by Dr. Nausheen Sultana once again. She asks whether there's a regulatory body to keep check on private institutions regarding the fee structure.
Yes, there are definitely this was debated a lot in this new education policy for the last 5 years. Many people were consulted. Wider consultations were taken out by the draft committee of this policy, and in that this issue was also deliberated in detail. So education cannot be delivered only by the government. That what I mean to say is we have number of stakeholders in this field. All stakeholders has to play the key role in delivering of quality education. That means government, non-government and private sectors are necessary. And at the same time, the regulatory commissions are also going to be placed to control the fee structure, the governance issues, and also the delivery of quality education are the subjects of these regulatory commissions. Definitely that will be taking care. And the implementation challenges are also there in this country, because this is a country of a divergence nature. Different cultures are there, linguistic in nature. That means here across India, if you see, right from Jammu Kashmir to Andaman Nicobar and Gujarat to Arunachal Pradesh, diversity is the major challenge here. So building consensus only can yield a good quality of education. So definitely this regulation is going to come.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Ritika Bajaj once again asks that from which batch it is applicable and which standard of students particularly will be affected by this NEP.
These integrated graduation courses, multidisciplinary courses are aiming to commence from 2023.
Likewise, Siddhi Kumari also, I think your question is being answered here. Well, there are many participants who have really appreciated the sessions by both Dr. Sunita and Dr. T. Vijay Kumar. They said that it's very motivating. And
here, before going to conclude the session, I would like to give a message here is that as an educated person, as a student of undergraduate courses and the faculty of the colleges, now it is our responsibility to generate awareness among the various stakeholders with regards to this policy nature, and we have to raise the awareness on these policies. Particularly in India, the awareness about the policies is very, very low, because your institution is also part of Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. There are many developmental policies in this country which are not being implemented in true right spirit, because the stakeholders are not having proper awareness. As a result of that, their participation is very, very minimal. So therefore, now every educated individual, every citizen of this country should take the responsibility of generating awareness on the public policies among various stakeholders. So my appeal and my request to all the students, please go through this education policy. 468 pages document is available on the net, and there is a highlights of 66 pages short document is also available. Please go through that, read that, conceptualize that, understand that policy, and at the same time you generate awareness among your peer groups, in your families also, regarding the policy, so that the policy will be implemented effectively, and the aimed and desired results we can see through this policy implementation. Thank you.
Sure, sir. We take your advice, and our endeavor will be towards promoting the national education policy. We definitely plan to take it forward to all our adopted villages in the Nagar Karnool district under the Unnat Bharat Abhiyan program. So we have another question here by Ms. Madhavi Gupta. She asked whether there would be any uniform standard policies with respect to admission of student student assessment and entrance exams.
Yes, admissions, student assessments and entrance examinations, there is a thing, bodies are going to be placed in this country with these recommendations of the policy, and admission procedures will be established based on the university norms. because there will be university types, type 1, type 2, type 3 institutions will be coming. For example, I will give you one example, Osmania University or JNTU University. If you take, the JNTU University is having so many affiliating colleges. Osmania University is having so many affiliating colleges. Nearly 800 affiliating colleges are there for Osmania University. So as a result of that, Osmania University cannot regulate, cannot set the standards for these autonomous colleges, affiliating colleges. And you take an example of University of Hyderabad. The University of Hyderabad don't have any affiliating colleges. Only 5 to 10,000 students are studying in University of Hyderabad. So there the regulations, there the faculty concentration on academic aspects, and at the same time research is also very, very focused in nature, and the quality is being ensured. That's why the University of Hyderabad stands second rank in this country in all the central universities. And in our country, out of 100 institutions, the University of Hyderabad stands 5th rank. So the quality is ensured. So therefore, because of this new education policy, the new recommendations, whatever they are giving, the progressive recommendations, with that, the qualities are going to be set up, and standard setting bodies will be there, regulatory bodies will be there, student assessment, accreditation boards will be there, and also the entrance examinations. There will be a national level testing agencies are going to be placed for conducting various examinations like NEET. You have already experienced now. NEET examination is there. So on par with that, there will be national testing agencies under this policy.
Thank you, sir. There's one question which has been posted on the YouTube, where they ask whether there's any difference between government and private universities with regard to PhDs, because usually there's a misconception that only government university PhDs are good.
No, there is no difference. First of all, we should understand the nature of governance here. Right now, I am talking from Guwahati. In Assam, there is an university. I think you may be aware that Don Bosco University. This Don Bosco University is established under private sector. This Don Bosco University is now maintaining global standards. Recently, I am having close connections with that university. I am interacting with that university, and I am meeting the vice chancellor and also the professors of that university. They are having networks with the international level best of the best institutions, and they are delivering quality of education. So here is the regulation. The regulation is very, very important. The governance is very, very important, whether it is a government institution or a private institution. Both has to be governed by the single regulations. So it all depends on the regulation. So therefore, under this new education policy, there will be stringent regulatory bodies are going to be placed in this country for ensuring the quality education. That one should believe. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Well, I think Ms. Amita has asked another question. Sir, you have examined NEP 2020. Do you have any recommendations of alternative 3-tier system?
What is that alternative 3-tier? What do you mean by that alternative 3-tier?
Alternative to the 3-tier system which is being proposed, I think, sir. That is what she...
An alternative
I
to
fail
this
to
current
understand.
system.
What is the tier system? I couldn't get it.
That is the research universities, teaching universities, and autonomous colleges. So
That
she's
is 3
suggesting, do you
types
have
of
an alternative
universities.
to that?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
There are 3 types of universities. Why they are coming out with the 3 types of universities means to promote the quality research. There will be resources crunch is also there, and also faculty crunch is also there. So we cannot uniformly spread across all entire nation among all the universities and the institutions. So therefore they have categorized. So according to the needs, based on the needs and demands of that particular state, they are going to establish under this mission Nalanda and mission Takshashila. These quality institutions are going to be placed for better quality education and also better delivery of education to the students.
Well, thank you,
So I
sir.
have one question for you. So
Yes.
in this three-tier system of universities that is being envisaged, so
Yeah.
what would be the, like, for instance, you have been mentioning about Osman University and its lab because it regulates about 800 institutions that are affiliated to it. So what would happen to a university such as Osman University in this three-tier
the
system? Because should
universities
it be converted into
and there will be an accreditation and assessment of the universities will be there. And for example, your own institution is there, Kasturba Gandhi Degree College for Women. And your
Yes.
institution is also going to be emerged as an autonomous college in future. And your institution will be given autonomy in nature. More autonomy will be given to the higher education institutions, and more autonomy will be given to the faculties. You can design your own curriculum based on the curriculum framework, and you can also come out with your own degrees granting, like Geetam University is granting their own degrees.
Yes.
So in that way, many colleges will be given autonomy, and that colleges will be given autonomy for giving the degrees, and at the same time imparting the quality of education also. So Osmania University's burden will be decreased. Okay. And out of these 800 affiliating colleges, few colleges will be emerged into universities, few colleges will be emerged into autonomous degree colleges also. So that kind of colleges are going to come in place of our traditional colleges.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
With that, we end this question and answer session. Well, I would like to thank Dr. T. Vijay Kumar for his valuable insights, starting with how to bring about behavioral changes. He's taken us to vocational education. And one important aspect which would be which the student community will be delighted is about the bagless days, which the national education policy is promoting. And apart from that, the usual nightmares when students would be taking their progress reports, I think that they will be not having any longer, because it is going to be a 360 multi-dimensional report card which they would be getting, which would be emphasizing on the other innate talents of a student rather than the academic performance alone. Apart from that, I see Dr. Vijay Kumar has stressed upon the teacher education and how important it is to instill quality teaching skills, the pedagogical skills and professional skills. And later he's spoken about the higher education, where he was mentioning about the holistic curriculum and the restructuring of institutions. And also an important aspect which he's mentioned was on the special education zones for equal educational opportunities. Well, sir, you also touched upon the restructuring of the regulatory bodies. That all this information, I think, which we have received today is really going to give us plenty of understanding about how the national education policy is going to affect the future education system. With this, I invite Ms. Parmeshwari to propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon to all the distinguished speakers, participants, Director, Department of Business Management, Neela Golapudi, UBA Coordinator, Shobha Madam, and my dear faculty. On behalf of Department of Business Management, Kasturba Gandhi College, Degree College for Women, I am privileged to propose vote of thanks on this webinar on National Education Policy 2020. We have been fortunate enough to have amongst us renowned identities from various areas. I would like to mention our deep sense of appreciation for Professor Vivek Kumar, Center for Rural Development and Technology, IIT Delhi, UBA National Coordinator, for joining us this morning. It's really amazing to know from you the blend of UBA and National Education Policy 2020, that the National Education Policy aims at holistic, multidisciplinary approach of students and utility of national education policy to the society, and how it is complementary to the vision, mission, and objective of UBA, Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, which was formed earlier in 2014. I would also like to extend my thanks to Dr. Sunita Bura, Program Head, Pratham Education Foundation, for a lucid explanation of National Education Policy 2020, with special emphasis on early childhood education. We understood that how important the age of 3 to 6 years age is, and the way the role of school education is fundamental for the knowledge, critical thinking, and cognitive development of the child in its future. We do appreciate the effort of Pratham Education Foundation. Thank you, madam. I also wish to express my gratitude to Dr. T. Vijay Kumar, Associate Professor, National Institute of Rural Development and Panchayati Raj. Thank you for giving us the insight into the education policy of 1986, 1992, and how the monumental changes took place in society, economy, and country through these education policies. And explaining us the nitty-gritty of National Education Policy 2020 with special emphasis on vocational training. The role of vocational training in promoting knowledge, manpower development, skill set, and how it can help us to reduce the unemployment problem. You rightly said that much of the energy that drive the economy will be generated in the classroom. If you educate teacher, you are educating the whole community. Thank you, sir. Last but not the least, I take the privilege to thank all the participants for showing the interest in being the part of this webinar and for your patient and alert listening and being with us this morning. I also offer my sincere thanks to our staff for their cooperation and support for organizing this webinar under the able guidance of our director, madam. We, as a participating institute, sincerely hope that under the umbrella of UBA and able guidance of Professor Neela Golapudi and UBA coordinator Shobha madam, will be able to make National Education Policy 2020 to reach every nook and corner and raise our standards to the global level in every area. I thank Director Madam for giving me this opportunity. Thank you one and all.
I once again thank Dr. Sunita Bura and Dr. Vijay Kumar for having accepted our invitation and gracing this occasion. I thank all the participants for their valuable presence here today. Thanks.